All right, perfect. There we go. Now I can see myself. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Staying safe? Perfect. Cool. All right, so I'm Michael Wilson, aka Knightmage. I'm going to be doing a Cosplay 101 breakdown. So pretty much it's just going to be a quick overview on the things I do for cosplay, where I get different materials and stuff like that. Talk a little bit about social media. And if you guys have any questions, obviously feel free to ask. And if you have any questions after this panel, always feel free to reach out to me and ask anytime, even if it's 3 a.m. I'll probably be up and I'll answer. All right, cool. So the first thing is about myself. So I've been, background is crazy. I know, this is my craft room. This is where I do all my stuff. So yeah, I've been cosplaying since 2012. To date, I've done close to 270 costumes. So you could say I'm pretty much addicted to this. This has become my passion. I started off doing just charity events, and then I went to my very first convention at the end of 2012. And as soon as I stepped on the floor, I was wearing Batman. I was just blown away. Like, I'm with my people. This is amazing. And I've just been addicted ever since. So yeah, like I said, I started off with just my love for Halloween. My very first costume was John Stewart Green Lantern. And I did not know how to sew. I really didn't know anything about costuming, cosplay at all. And that wasn't a costume you could find at Spirit Halloween. So my girlfriend taught me how to sew, and she helped me put that together, just using some Under Armour, and went to Joann Fabrics, Boston Fabric, and pieced it together, and thought turned out pretty good. But let's start off with like where to get costumes, and exactly like how to actually put something together. So I know a huge thing right now is buying costumes versus making costumes. And first off, right off the bat, I'll just say it doesn't matter. Whether you buy your costume or whether you hand make it from scratch, you're both cosplayers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no wrong way to do it. Or you can mix and match. If you really want to buy a costume from a store and piece some of it together, and then next time you know how to do that, so you just keep on building your arsenal. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So a couple of different places you can get like whole costumes if you really just you don't have the time to make anything, you don't feel like making anything, you just want to be Captain America like tomorrow. Well, you're probably not going to get it tomorrow, but wholesale Halloween costumes, wholesaleHalloweenCostumes.com is actually a really good place. And a lot of these places I'm going to name are like Halloween stores. The thing is, the quality of the costumes nowadays is not like it was even 5, 6, 7 years ago. The quality is actually really, really good. It's a good base. So yeah, wholesaleHalloweenCostumes.com, HalloweenCostumes.com, Cosplay Sky, and Mick Costumes. Those are probably some of the most popular places to get just full ready to go outfits right out the door. Cosplay Sky and Mick Costumes, their costumes are going to be a little bit more higher quality, so they're going to be run a little bit more expensive. As far as like the sizing, that's the thing, you really got to kind of know your sizing. Obviously, depending on the material they're using, if they're using like a leather or something like that, you're going to actually have to adjust your size a little bit higher because it's going to be a little bit tighter fitting. So a question about for like plus sizes. A lot of these companies are actually taking that into consideration now. So you can get plus size costumes. But you should always actually just have your measurements on hand so you can custom order these costumes too to fit you. And again, if you get it and it is too small, you can always make adjustments. That's when your little handy creative ingenuity can come out. You can always make adjustments, whether it's too big or too small. Talk about bodysuits. So a lot of my costumes I incorporate with just, I love wearing bodysuits. I mean, who doesn't? like spandex is comfortable. So a lot of my bodysuits I'll actually just get off of Amazon. I'll just buy like a base color bodysuit, and then from there I'll sew on the details or airbrush the details or whatever it is I need to do. If I can't find the right color on Amazon or eBay, then that's when I'll have to actually go ahead and try and make a bodysuit. I hate sewing bodysuits. It's just a pain in the butt. But yeah, Amazon and eBay is primarily where I just get all my base color bodysuits. You can get a good bodysuit for $25. Amazon Prime, I love Amazon Prime. I get some shipped like to me every day from Amazon Prime. But yeah, the bodysuits, again, your mess when your measurements are going to come in handy. There's probably about 5 or 6 different companies from on Amazon. If you just search like a black bodysuit, try and always stick with the same company. Always remember what company it is, because especially if it fits well, because every company's the material is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to probably fit a little bit differently. So if you buy a bodysuit and you like it, make sure you always keep a tab on which company you got it from. If you don't feel like, again, you just want to be Captain Marvel, you don't feel like sewing any kind of details on or airbrushing anything, there's a lot of companies now that are doing the sub-dye suits or dye subsuits, which basically is just the pattern of whatever it is actually printed onto the suit. Zentai Zone, RPC Studios. There's a ton of places out there. They do run on they're a little bit more expensive. Excuse me, they're a little bit more expensive. But again, they're just like right out the box, ready to go. Throw it on, you're good. A lot of people actually will use them for undersuits and then actually build on top of it, put armor on top. So it's a little bit more three-dimensional. Either way, it's fine. So airbrushing on. So I do a lot of airbrushing to my bodysuits. I just enhance the kind of comic book feel to it. If you're going to do that, you should always have a mannequin, either a mannequin or actually wear it and have someone do it while it's on you, or have someone wear it and you do it while it's on someone that's on your size. Basically what you're going to do that for is so you can get all like the muscle definition and whatever else patterns. It's going to sit right. So a suit that's airbrushed for me and put it on someone else, it's not going to, the muscles aren't going to really sit that right, because it's actually tailor made for me. If you don't have a mannequin, which mannequins can get very expensive, make a duct tape mannequin. That's going to be a body shaped mannequin straight for you, for your body. It's great for making patterns, for again, putting the suit on mannequin, airbrushing the suit, patterns for foam, helmets, whatever it is. Duct tape mannequin is your best friend. Doesn't breathability depend on the material being used? Yes, it absolutely does. Again, spandex breathes very well, so you'll be fine with the spandex. Excuse me, I always say also, whatever it is, whether it's leather, spandex, anything, always wear something underneath the suit. I will always try and wear like a compression shirt, compression pants. That's actually going to help keep the sweat down, because you'll get hot. So you always try and wear something underneath. And actually, it sounds weird, but layering, actually, the more layer you do, the cooler you'll stay. When did you get into foam, and was it hard? I got into foam probably about a year after I started cosplaying. So like 2013. And was it hard? Yes, because obviously it was something brand new. And there wasn't as many tutorials as there is now. So like right now, you can get your doctorate on YouTube. Like you just type in, how do I make a Magneto helmet on Google or YouTube? There's gonna be tons of videos and tutorials that's gonna pop up. It's so easy right now to learn how to craft with foam. There is a system called Pepakura, which is basically you print the file out, print it on paper, you're going to cut it out and trace it onto the foam, and you're going to piece it back together like a puzzle. It's very tedious, very tedious, but it's going to be extremely exact. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's so easy to use. Evil Ted Smith has great patterns. Kamui Cosplay has great patterns. You can get a pattern for like a basic helmet pattern or a chest plate pattern for $5-6. And again, you just pay them. It gets link gets sent to your email, download it, and print it out. You're good to go. You have that file for the rest of your life. Use it over and over again, modify it. So many things you can do. So we talked about the bodysuits, the dye sub, and the airbrushing, and that. If you are airbrushing, though, also keep in mind that whatever paint you're using, I use Createx airbrush paint. It doesn't 100% set into like spandex. So when you wash your suit, and when you obviously don't try and dry it, just let it hang dry. But when you wash the suit, over time, the colors are going to fade. So you always have to retouch it up, touch it up. That's the benefit of the dye substitutes, is it's not going to do that. You know, what the colors are actually in the suit, so you're fine. So yeah, pros and cons to both. Talk about fabrics. So real quick with the fabrics, primarily I Joann Fabrics. That's where I get all my fabrics, Joann Fabrics. The thing with Joann's though is don't go in there without a coupon. And if something's not on sale today, it's going to be on sale tomorrow. So always just remember that. Coupons, and make sure stuff is going to be on sale, because it can get expensive. Walmart, actually, some Walmarts actually have a good, never go with a coupon. That's #1 rule. Walmart, yeah. Some Walmarts actually have a pretty good fabric section, and you get good fabrics cheap. If you need something, just think outside the box, man. Too, like I've used shower curtains for different things, like capes or something. Like just always think outside the box. Going thrift store shopping, repurposing, clothes. Just always think outside the box, especially when it comes to fabrics. Foam. So primarily where I get my foam is Harbor Freight. I love Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight's my friend. That comes in 2 different styles. And when I talk about the foam, it's the EVA floor mat foams, which I don't have any just laying around. But it comes in squares, and then also comes in the rolls. The rolls tend to be a little bit thinner. Do you typically do all of it? I do. What was that question again? I'm going to go back to that question. Do I do all the crafting myself, or do I have a team? A team. That's cute. No, I don't have a team. This is me. Me and my mannequin. Yeah, so I pretty much do everything on my own. And a lot of it is just trial and error. And if I mess something up, battle damage, and just gonna go with it. That's how I roll. So yeah, fabrics, Joann Fabrics, Walmart, fabrics.com. I don't really know a lot of any other like fabric companies around. Pretty sure there's tons, especially when you get to bigger cities and there's fabric districts. But that's primarily where I go for myself. The foam, Harbor Freight. So Harbor Freight, you can get the floor mat foams, which comes in the squares, or the rolls. The rolls tend to be a little bit thinner, probably about 4 or 5 millimeter, and the squares tend to be thicker, so about close to probably about 7-8 millimeter. So if you want to do something a little bit easier when you start to work with foam, I say go with the thinner. There's also craft foam. So the craft foam is like the little craft foamy sheets of paper they used to work with in grade school. Perfect. Coupons right there. I primarily get all my craft foam either from Michael's, Joann Fabrics does have it too, and Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby does have the different sizes. So they have the 5 millimeter foam, and also the 2 millimeter rug or craft foam. The great thing about craft foam is it comes in different colors. So if you're really just crunched for time and you need something like a red, something, whatever you're making this red, and you really don't have time to paint, you don't have anything, you can just buy something red, buy the red craft foam and go from there. And it's heat moldable, yes. So that's actually how you make stuff with foam. Is you heat it up with a heat gun, which you're doing two things when you do that. Is you're sealing the foam, so it's going to be easier to paint, because if you don't seal the foam, when you paint, the paint's actually going to absorb into the foam, so it's going to dull your colors out. When you heat seal it, basically you're closing all those little pores in the foam, so the paint just kind of sits on top and it dries, and it's nice and vibrant. But also you're making when you heat it up, you're making the foam more dense and more pliable. So when you go to bend and mold it, it's going to keep that shape of whatever it is you're trying to make. Making stuff with foam it's a geometry game, and that's why tutorials are going to be your best friend. But once you get the hang of it and how to do your cuts to make certain shapes, you're going to be golden. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. So much fun. Thermoplastics. Oh, actually, I'll talk about also. There's now also foam clay, which is basically clay, but it's foam. So it's very soft, very pliable. You can make little skulls or whatever it is you want. Once it dries, it actually dries with the same texture as like your EVA foam. You could paint it. It's going to be solid. It's going to be great. It's still lightweight. But yeah, it's just great for making little small intricate details of whatever it is you need. Thermoplastics. So thermoplastics, Warbler, Wonderflex. It's great stuff. It's basically just moldable plastic, very thin. Once you heat it up, same thing with the foam. Heat it up, mold it into whatever shape you want. It's going to hold that shape. It's very popular with a lot of female cosplayers because it is thin, it's very sleek. So when you do like your armor pieces, especially with females, it's very kind of form-fitting. It's just a little I don't know, yeah, it's just very popular with female cosplayers. But not to say males don't use it too. Males use it. However, it is expensive. So try and be reserved with it. I actually just use thermoplastics for very small, intricate details if I need any. But the great thing also is reusable. So if you kind of mess up a piece, you can heat it up, kind of flatten it out, and just kind of start over. So that's the great thing about thermoplastics. You can get thermoplastics. So actually some craft stores actually sell thermoplastics now, but also cosplaysupplies.com. I believe TNT Cosplay Supplies sells it too. Not sure about it. Makeup. So makeup. I love doing makeup. When I first started doing makeup, I found that the Halloween store makeups, like the grease paints, I would put it on my skin and I could not get it to dry. So I'm always just rubbing off on everything. And then I also found like the cream makeups, I would put it on my skin, and I have very dry skin. So it would just eat into my skin and I would crack and it would just be terrible. The best makeup I found is the water activated makeups, Wolf Effects and Mayron Paradise. Both are extremely amazing products. Again, they're water based, so easy to use. Just comes in a little cake tin, a little bit of water in your brush, rub it on the makeup on your skin. It dries really fast, and it stays all day. It's great stuff. Comes in a wide variety of colors. If you're a heavy sweater, because it is water activated, it's going to run. So best thing to do is get a barrier spray. You can spray your face first. And actually, the very first thing you should always do is wash your face and prime your face. So kind of just exactly how you heat seal the foam and you're clogging all those pores up and sealing them, you're kind of doing the same thing with your face. When you prime your face, you're basically clogging your pores. So when you put the paint on, it's going to a nice, smooth, clean surface. Yeah. Paints, actually, I got into that because I didn't want to rely on doing masks and all that type of stuff. And once I started doing makeup, it's totally changed how I cosplay. I love doing makeup, love doing contouring and stuff. But yeah, the water activated paints, the Wolf Effects and Mayron Paradise, best stuff ever. Like I say, if you're a heavy sweater, you can do a barrier spray. After you prime your face, barrier spray, paint, another coat of barrier spray, you'll be good. If you're in a crunch and you don't have barrier spray, a light mist of hairspray, just some cheap hairspray, a very, very, very light mist, and you'll be good to go. If you are doing any kind of like theatrical work, or you're going to be in the sun, or you need to do like an underwater photo shoot or something like that, the best paint is an alcohol-based paint. Mayron Paradise, that's not Mayron Paradise, but Mayron makes a great alcohol-based paint. Primarily, it's going to be used for an airbrush though. But once it's on, it's staying on. So you can go in the water, you can sweat all day, it doesn't matter, it's not coming off. Getting it off that's the issue. So anything with a very high oil content, cocoa butter, coconut oil, shaving cream actually will cut it. So just get that in the shower and just scrub away. You said with primer with the oily skin. Yeah. So the primer actually I use is just the e.l.f. primer. Really, it's just going to be a matter of you washing your face and making sure your face is nice and dry. Don't put any lotion on or anything like that. Just make sure it's nice and dry, and then use the primer as your principal lotion. So contacts. Talk about contacts. First thing with contacts is always go to your eye doctor first to get your eyes checked. Even if you know you have perfect vision, the thing is everyone's eyeballs are different sizes. So when you order contacts from somewhere, typically they're just going to come in one size. So you go ahead and put it in your eye, and it might be too small or too big for your eye, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and you can do some pretty good damage to your eye that way. So always go to the eye doctor to at least get the sizing of your eye. Now, with that being said, also you can also order contacts through your doctor. They're going to be a little bit more expensive, excuse me, but at least you know it's coming from a reputable place, and you're good to go. If you really don't want to do that, but you go to the eye doctor, get checked out, everything's good. The two places I go for my costume contacts are Honeycolor and honeycolor.com and Unique So. Excuse me. So they're both really great places. They are overseas, so the shipping is going to take probably about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe longer. But yeah, really great companies. They're always running great deals. The only thing is when they come to you, make sure, and this is for contacts across the board, make sure you take them out of the solution that they were shipped in, because that's just pretty much salt water. It's just, saline pretty much. It's been sitting in that for how long. So if you go put that straight in your eye, it's going to burn like heck. So take it out of that solution, put fresh solution into a container, and let it sit for a little bit, and then go ahead and put it in your eye. Also, they're probably going to give you these little cute little costume contact, or just contact cases, the little cutesy ones. Those are trash. Throw them away. They never seal right. So when you put your contacts in there and let it sit for a month or whatever, you go to check it, and all the fluid's drained out. It's because they don't seal. So just go to Walmart and get some regular contact cases, and use just regular contact cases. Something also with COVID, and since there's no conventions going on, that's very important to always check your costume contacts, because you're not using them probably as much as you would. So make sure the solution is still in there, and change solution out. Just keep your upkeep on that. Actually, the same thing with the makeup too. Not checking the makeup, but keeping the practice. So even though you're not doing a convention, practice, because when conventions start coming back, you're going to be good to go. It's like muscle memory, right? So that's a quick overview of a lot of the stuff that I use. But of course, that's not all of it. Again, I love to repurpose different costumes and different items. I'm all about trying to look for shapes. So I have no qualms about going to the dollar store, walking up and down the aisles, and just looking for the shape of whatever it is I need. I can paint it, I can cut it up and do that type of stuff to it. So when you're trying to find something, don't think that I have to look for a specific item. Look for the shape. How long did it take to learn how to sew. I'm still learning. And how long was it comfortable? I know it's still not comfortable. I'm still not comfortable with a lot of things with sewing. I think that's probably the hardest thing for me. However, Joy Fabrics does put on sewing classes. I don't know how much they are, but they just pretty much learn the basics. They teach you the basics of sewing, so you'll be a lot more comfortable with that. Also, a lot of churches still put on sewing classes. Maybe not right now, no COVID, but like the old ladies at the churches, they put on the sewing classes. So you can learn that way. And also, don't be afraid to reach out to other cosplayers. Like, hey, can you teach me how to sew? Let's have a drinking night and teach me. I don't drink while you sew. Don't do that. But let's have a night out and just teach me how to sew. So yeah, so many avenues. There are a lot. Again, YouTube. There's a lot of tutorials out there on learning to sew, and just start small, man. Start with a small little cape or something like that, and then work your way up to leotards and stuff. And just take your time. Just take your time. What's my favorite costume that I've done? So they're like all my babies. That's like trying to say who's your favorite kid. Again, I've done close to 270 now. I always say, honestly, my favorite is my next one, because as soon as I'm done with one, I'm looking to the next one. I'm excited about the very next one. So if I had to pick one that I kind of bring to the forefront and talk about, is probably Predator. The reason why is because two things with me. I'm a very fast builder, so it takes me anywhere between 2 to 5 days. 5 days is my max to make a costume. And then also I'm a budget builder. So my budget is $250. If I can't make it, modify it, or anything like that for $250 or less, then I'm not doing it. There's certain fandoms where you could just get sucked into it and just end up paying, hundreds and thousands of dollars and man hours into making something. The Predator fandom is one of them. So when I started making it, I got intimidated, but then I started going. I'm like, all right, this is good. I got this. Anyways, I ended up making the costume for $125, and I was very, very, very proud of it. And then there was a company called Baltimore Knife and Sword, and they're blacksmiths, and they have a TV show, YouTube show called Man at Arms. And basically what they do is they take weapons and props and stuff like that from different movies, video games, and they recreate it in real life. So they were doing a Predator episode from the last Predator movie that was coming out to promote that, and they reached out to me and wanted me to be their Predator for that episode. So that was a huge boost for me, thinking like, wow, I made this thing for $125 and you picked me to be your Predator when I know that there's better Predators out there. It just made me feel good. So that's one of those. I always show that, it doesn't have to be expensive to be awesome. This is pretty much about putting your heart into it. Yeah. We got about 20 minutes left. Dang it. Oh, good. If you guys have any questions about anything, just make sure you ask questions. I like questions. So let's talk about social media, I guess, and like promoting yourself and that type of jazz. So we're cosplayers, we're vain, right? We want to talk about ourselves. Promote yourself, man. Like, be proud. It doesn't matter if you bought the costume or if you made it. Promote yourself. Promote the heck out of yourself. Be your own cheerleader. Your favorite. Be your own favorite fan. Don't be ashamed of anything that you're doing. So yeah, always promote yourself. Be yourself though. Also, I know with in a very tense like political climate and stuff, a lot of people don't want to they don't want to ruffle feathers, so they don't want to talk about certain things. They don't want to voice their opinions. They don't, and I get that, but don't be afraid to not do it. So always just be yourself. If you want to do it, great, do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, don't do it. But just always, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Oh man, got questions coming in. Oh, lots of questions. All right, so So you don't have a favorite. Do you have a least favorite costume? I do have a least favorite costume. My least favorite costume was Black Adam. I say was because the very first Black Adam I did, one of my favorite characters, but I just loathed that costume. It was terrible. I don't know. It was terrible. So I revisited it and ended up making Black Adam again. I love it now. So yeah, that was my least favorite costume. Let's see. What sewing machine did you start with? Whatever sewing machine my girlfriend has. I have no idea. I know it's a singer. She's a seamstress. She's the one that if I something I really can't do, like here, do this for me. Thank you. Yeah. So that's that. Have you ever had to take an extended break from cosplay or experience burnout? No. I've never had to do that. I've been going. So ever since 2012, when I jumped in my first convention, in 2013 I started doing like guesting at conventions. I was doing close to 2 to 3 conventions a month, and I've been doing that since 2013. And trying to holding a full-time job, trying to craft too. I didn't and doing the charity stuff. I didn't experience burnout, but I just had to learn how to say no to certain things and learn how to prioritize certain things. But I've never experienced burnout, never had to take a break. However, I will say with COVID, it actually was nice to take a break this past year. Like this, just been crafting and been hanging out at home. This has been nice, but I'm ready to get back into it. Can you show us one of the outfits or masks in the background? These interesting methods put together. Yeah, I'll do that in a second. I'll do this in a second. Do you have any tips for mid-con cosplay malfunctions? Yeah, listen, so always, after you finish a costume, take your pictures in it, do poses in the mirror, do your tests like squat and stuff like that. You want to make sure anything that breaks is going to break at home when you're making it, so you can fix it right then and there. Also, take an emergency kit with you to every convention. So if you're wearing an Iron Man armor suit made out of foam, you're going to know you're going to want like a mini hot glue gun, maybe some duct tape, something like anything that you can quickly repair, some paint, quickly repair on the spot. If you're wearing all like a dress or fabric stuff, a needle and thread. So just always have a little small emergency kit with you. Cons, we're getting really good with having cosplay repair stations. So that's something I always keep on the lookout for at conventions. Respect the work that so much. Thank you so much. Tips for traveling with costumes and packing to keep them intact. Yeah, so that's one reason why I work with a lot of foam, is because I could just stuff it in a suitcase and just jam it in there. It's going to bend and stuff like that. The more you get into the harder, and the more like you harden your foam, or the more you do like with thermoplastics, it's more susceptible to break. So that's one reason why I work with a lot of foam. Packing, it's going to depend on what you really can fit. I mean, I use a regular suitcase. Try not to travel with any kind of like cosplay weapons. That's obviously a big thing. If you have to, put notes into the suitcase. Prop gun, not a real gun. If there's like, I don't know, some kind of powder or something like that, not just put like a little note in there. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. What can I share? So yeah, my Thanos helmet. So this would be so this is my Thanos helmet. Actually, this was just a pattern I got from Evil Ted Smith, just a basic helmet pattern that I modified to make my helmet. And yeah, so that's that. You can see, that's all that paint in there, the Thanos paint. And then, let's see here. We have my Shao Kahn helmet. So this is again like repurposing stuff. So actually, the base of the helmet is a dollar store army helmet, and is went off of that. And actually get another dollar store skull mask that I just recut up, and yeah. So always think outside the box. Let's see here. Sentinel head. Yeah, this is actually probably one of my favorite spots. Sentinel head is to do with Magneto or any kind of mutant of that. This is a good. So the Ghostbusters, another fandom that actually you can get sucked into making, using hundreds of hours and money putting into. Actually, that was just a Spirit Halloween pack that was like $60, and I just made a bigger Alice frame to make it bigger and repainted it and slimed it up, and I'm a Ghostbuster. So yeah, that was a really fun build. Let's see what else we got here. I saw that your Spawn costumes. Thank you. Yeah, Spawn was actually the Spawn was the first costume I did that like went viral, and I was like, oh my god, I thought it was cool, but I didn't think it was going to blow up like that. Typically, when anyone mentions me, Spawn is the very first thing that they think of, between that and Afro Samurai or probably Hellboy or Kratos. But it's usually Spawn. It's usually Spawn. And actually, I've done 4 different Spawns. So that the Hell Spawn, the Wings of Redemption Spawn, the Medieval Spawn, and Gunslinger Spawn. And actually, I'll tell you, so I told you earlier that my budget is $250. So the most expensive costume I've done is the Wings of Redemption Spawn. So when I first made it, the wingspan is 9 foot by 9 foot. So it's huge. The wings are huge. And I said, okay, I want to use real feathers. So I ordered like 100 feathers, and I realized, oh wow, I didn't order enough feathers. So I had to order more and then more and more. When it was all said and done, I had already committed to feathers, so I had to keep going. I had 4,500 feathers. Yeah. 4,500 feathers. So that was the most expensive costume. Now, whenever I make any kind of wings for like Hawkman, what are the wings have I done? Holy crap, can't think. But I just use craft foam now. It's a lot easier, and less expensive. Let's see, more questions. So, do you do consultations to help plan out their costumes? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say consultations, but yeah, reach out, and I always love to help and do anything. If you have like issues or you need how to figure out how to do something, yeah, message me at any time. Yeah, like I said, to me, this community is about helping one another, sharing that knowledge. And if there's something I can't help you with, I'm going to at least try and direct you to the right person that can. Do I build costumes for other people? I don't. I don't do commissions because a couple reasons. One, I don't have time. 2, I honestly never think that someone else is going to like what I did for them. Like, so when I make costumes, I make it for me. It's how I feel. It's my vision of this character. So I don't ever think that someone else is going to like my work on them. That makes sense. But mainly, honestly, because I don't have time. actually this year was the first time I've actually really made a costume for someone. We're doing a Masters of the Universe photo shoot in 3 weeks, and we're also doing a huge Mortal Kombat photo shoot in 3 weeks. And we're doing 14 characters in Mortal Kombat, and there's only 3 cosplayers, and we have 1 day to do it. So figure out that math. But anyways, so I made a She-Ra for my one friend, and I also made a Sonya Blade for her too. So. If you had to start all the way over today, what would you start with? Man, if I had to start over, I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know, because knowing what I know now and how I can build and use the tutorials and stuff like that, man, sky's the limit. Like it, like my dream costume is Voltron. Like once I do Voltron, I'm done. And honestly, I think I could do Voltron right now, and so I couldn't do that years ago because I would have nowhere to start. But like, even if I just started, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I want to build a Voltron right now," I could say to them, "Yeah, go ahead, do it. Like, there's tutorials right there. There's someone can show you how to do it." But like said, when I first started, if someone said that, I would be like, "Nah, man. Like, start something very small." But yeah, right now, there's sky's the limit. No, thank you for all the love and support that you guys showed me. I'm always humbled by that. Again, I don't know. I never think that I'm making an impact. I don't. I'm still not used to having that feeling, or even fans or anything like that. But just no, thank you for all the love and support you guys show. So yeah, I guess I think we can almost wrap it up, but I just gonna leave it on a few like notes and things I always tell people. So most important thing with cosplay is honestly, oh wait, have I ever tried a weight gain or lost to try and match body? Actually, kind of gonna tie into exactly what I'm about to say is no, I have not done that, but I made a post about this the other day, and it's talking about your body image, and you can be anybody you want right now. No matter what you look like, you can be whoever you want. The matter is, do you want to? And do you want to change something? And either way you go, you're fine. I'll use an example of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters of all time. He is one of the characters I first did when I started doing charity events. So I'm 6 foot, 255 pounds, in a Spider-Man outfit. Kids loved it. The adults loved it. I did it for such a long time. But it got to a point where I just personally didn't feel comfortable in that suit no more. Could I be Spider-Man still? Absolutely. Did I want to be Spider-Man still? No. I just personally didn't feel comfortable. So it's all about you, how you feel. I do Robin. Robin's smaller than Spider-Man, but I just feel more comfortable as Robin than I did Spider-Man. So it's all about how you feel. Don't ever get caught up in, I have to look a certain way, I have to be a certain way. No. Be you. It's your vision. So you think about Batman. Depending on the artist, the writer, director, whoever's doing Batman at that time, Batman has been seen and drawn 50 million different ways, right? How come Batman can't look like you from Earth number 994? He can't. That's all cosplay is just your interpretation of this character. It's your fan art of this character, and there's no wrong way to do fan art. So don't ever get hung up on looking a certain way. I always tell people this. My job as like a cosplayer is not to replicate someone else's vision. My job as a cosplayer is to make you believe the character always looked like me. So just remember that. That's quote worthy. I have some of those sometimes. All right. I think that's about it. yeah, we've hit that 50-minute mark. So thank you guys for hanging out. We're going to be doing another. I'll be on another panel with some fantastic people later, talking about Black cosplay and kind of the struggles that we've probably dealt with and stuff like that. And it's going to be a very cool topic and interesting. So yeah, always feel free to reach out to me, drop a line, chat. You can find me on Facebook at Knightmage, Twitter at Knightmage, which I'm never on Twitter though, Instagram Knightmage1, and yeah, thanks guys.